Hello, hello, hello once again. Welcome back to Guru Grit. I've been away for quite some time. Life has been busy, but discontinuing this has never been an option, not for a second. You'll have to forgive the lighting. The sun keeps moving and I'm very tired. It's sunset. It's the latest I've ever filmed outdoors, I think. And I went through a very long walk, which is quite unexpected, but I enjoyed it very much. So I'm deep in the forest somewhere here in the city that I live, and there's a lot of commotion, so you'll just have to bear with me if I'm like come upon by somebody or something. I'll tell my mother I love her if that does happen, and just excuse the noise. I know somebody's just like, I think joyriding their relative's mobility scooter. Honestly, it's kind of funny, and they keep revving it and going up and down some hills and kind of banging it up a bit. So if you hear that, just let it slide. It was this or my usual filming spot, and there's a child's birthday party about to take place, and they keep replaying Jack and Jill Went Up the Hill over and over again. Honestly, after the fifth time you hear it, it's such a tune that I don't want it as background music. So once again, welcome back. And you know, I don't like long-winded introductions, so we'll just jump right in. What do I want to talk about today? One of the first things somebody asked me at the start of summer, I didn't have a chance to get to it on TikTok or here, and I want to post more on YouTube. I want to like go deep. So I'll just quickly to let you know now what's on the agenda is 5 things, okay? So I think I'll leave last. I was working on my prophets series of prophecies from 6 or 7, but I narrowed down from 12 prophets, okay, that I really admire, that I follow the work of. Helps me narrow down my astrological predictions as well, because it just seems the mood of the world is not really one to be like doomsday prophesying, unless you're like me and my friends and you think this is really fun because you don't actually think it's gonna happen, because you hope for the best. So I'll leave that last. I'll see how I feel towards the end of the year, which would kind of push it into like a 1-year mark, because I started researching for this last week of December of 2021. So, oh, my first mosquito. Last time I walked this far into the woods, I ended up going to see 2 doctors because I had such bad hives, which I've never had, allergic reaction to nature. Anyway, I also want to do a few more Edgar Casey things. So one is all things women's health, endocrine, especially thyroid, okay, uterine health, all those things, what Edgar Casey says about infertility, etc. Then men's health. I think I'll probably do that one first, just a bit faster to get through, and I've had some wonderful private and public comments, but especially private. Like I said in the previous Edgar Casey health videos, if there's something you want to ask me, I won't make it public, of course. I did, you know, a whole episode on baldness and hair growth and things like that. So thank you for everyone who wrote in expressing your appreciation. And I've had some about male erectile dysfunction and things like that, virility, you know, feeling good energy flowing through your body so that you can express yourself creatively, so sexually. So of course I'm going to cover that for men's health. I can also do that for women's health, but that one came in quite urgently, and I'm happy to go over that. And then astrologically, Saturn series. So Saturn and you, all about Saturn. So I can film like all about Saturn 101 today after this, and then I want to go through Saturn through all the houses, okay? Because he's very misunderstood. We just don't need that energy in our lives. We want to be clear, abundantly clear about what we're about. So, and then today we're talking about dating, okay? So charm. Is charm hurtful? And I think it's funny. You can't spell charm without harm. So beware the charming man. And this comes to me from a viewer who's like, well, what should you look for then if you don't like the person when you first meet them? Well, let's just start. So my name is Monica. Welcome to Guru Grit. You can find more information below. So dating. Most people these days do a lot of their dating online. And as such, they neglect their intuition because they say, even men, you know, like your better sense, your better logic against logic. You think, okay, but this girl's really pretty, or this man is seemingly sane or seemingly honest or some such thing. I'm just going to move a bit. Okay, that may be, but it doesn't mean that they have your best interest at heart. So I don't remember where I heard it or where I read it, but it was a spiritual teacher. She was female, and there was a line in her book. I swear it went something to the effect of, if you know it, let me know. But it was like, beware the charming person or beware the charming man. Because a person who systematically, routinely, continuously, consistently sucks up validation, just has something to prove to themselves that they're failing. They use you as their supply. You're like a battery. They have to suck out all the compliments out of you and like need to be liked by you because something is inherently void in them. They fail to develop their character. Okay, I had a good friend of mine. She said to me, text every guy you've dated since like middle school or high school or university, or your, you know, every 5 years, you know, like 18 to 23, 23 to 28, 28 to 33. See where they're at. I don't mean in life, like, are they successful? Are they fit? See where they're mentally, emotionally. Okay, you do this with women, of course, because some women, you could be 16 at 60. You will be a girl forever. You don't evolve, you know, like emotionally, you don't evolve. You're not in control of yourself. Same with men. They're not in control of themselves. They're impulse driven. I don't mean men, I mean guys, like people. When I say man or woman, I generally mean a person who has themselves together, okay? So it's not like an age thing. I have friends who are 10 years younger than me that are much more mature. I have people that are 10 years older than me that don't know anything about anything, really. So why this matters is, she said, they suffer from some kind of like arrested development. Like they just like haven't grown. Some people, everything they've ever known, they've learned at the age of 12 or 15. And that's it. That just like carries them through life, you know? Now this, when it becomes like an emotional thing, of course, like anything can be harmful. But we're discussing charm in particular. The person's, he's so charming. He's so nice. You know who else is nice? Serial killers. That's how they like get you in the van. You know what I mean? You have to like be a little discerning. You have to be a critical thinker. You have to trust yourself, okay? Trust your intuition, trust your logic. Like, does that make sense to you? No, don't do it. Doesn't look nice. I don't care how it looks. I don't know, but I wasn't put on the planet to be nice. You know, I was put on the planet to be myself. If you're not nice, just say that, okay? If you could be kind and not nice. You know, you can be very soft-hearted and sensitive, but not like agreeable and eager to please. So this is very interesting to me, because when somebody asked about charm in particular, I thought, yeah, beware the charming man. They want something from you, and they don't know how to give it to themselves. And this is where it becomes iffy in relationships, because you're inherently replaceable, right? So if they're only nice to you so long as you're treating them a certain way, then they're not really that nice, okay? Like, love is meant to be unconditional. Of course, I don't mean like, please don't be like, that's not true, I was thrown down the stairs. I don't mean like extreme cases, okay, of like abuse. I just mean catch it in the subtleties, because charm is a very powerful thing. And I don't mean true inherent characteristic, okay, that's like belongs to a mature person. I'm talking about like politicians. Like they have like this megawatt magnetism and like charm about them, and they just want something from you. They don't care about you. You see what I mean? But a person can be like fun-loving and playful. I just recently got back from a trip from a very, you know, expressive individual, and my friend is really like playful and has an amazing sense of humor, and she loves to talk to the cab driver and the bartender and the waitress, and it's like, that's charming, that's funny. She doesn't want anything from you. You're gonna do your job no matter what, you know? She just happens to be charming. It's lovely, right? But I mean like some kind of neuroses, okay? So I knew an acquaintance for a few years, and it's very dangerous to be like charming and self-aware and still not want to do the right thing. He literally spoke the words, Monica, it makes me feel bad saying this, but like, I know I have something people really want, and I use that to get anything I want from them. And they could be anybody, because as soon as it feels like, oh, that girl wants me to call her again, now she wants me to meet her mom, or, you know, my boss actually thinks I'm gonna do a good job on this project, because I only did the last one because they gave me a bonus or extra time off, I just get rid of it. I just quit that job, I just leave that girl, I just find another one. Because it could be anybody, as long as you're being fed, as long as you're being supplied with that like adrenaline, that dopamine, that validation. Validation is the word. You're not self-validating, you need it from other people, you know? That's quite dangerous, because that person could just like suck the life out of you. Worse yet, you could marry them for like, you know, 20, 30 years and be like, what have I done with my life? I could have been anyone. They don't love me. They just love that I'm in their life doing what they want. So let's get back to basics. You're online dating and a person is making you feel really good. That's fine. It's nice to feel nice. But why? Like, what are you talking about? Do you have similar values? Do you have similar goals? Is it like an intellectual conversation? You know, what's going on? Because anybody can like make you feel good, okay? If you're a guy and some guy or some girl is just making you feel really good and you're like, this must be wonderful because this person's making me feel really nice. Why though? It's like, because I'm handsome. You won't be handsome tomorrow. Time catches up to us all. You will be not what you are today. So what is it? What is it that you actually have in common? I love having my ego stroked. I don't know if it's true, you know? So I'm like very doubtful. I'm like, why would anybody like me? Explain yourself, you know? I want a PowerPoint presentation. You have to point powerfully at it to explain yourself. But ultimately, you have to like question these things. And it's not to suck the fun out of life, it's not to suck the fun out of dating, but it's to be a little more realistic, right? So I'm really, it was like a question about safety. Like, this person's so nice to talk to, they make me feel really good. And I'm like, have you even met them? you know? So beware the charming person. They probably just want something. And it can even be people you already know. A friend of mine texted me today. We were talking, she asked about jealousy yesterday. And today she texted me and she said, I ran into someone and they could not stop complimenting my nails for a couple of minutes. And within 5 minutes, the pinky nail just broke right off. And I've got like one short nail for it. And she was like, oh my God, they didn't mean it. You know, it was almost like a hex. Like, we're so paranoid energetically, you know, well, we live in an energetic universe, so it makes sense. But charm is the same thing. There's a charm that you can utilize and do good things with. You could be very persuasive, do nice things for the environment, which I was complaining about earlier. People just like litter like crazy. It drives me nuts, you know. I'm gonna make a video about the environment as well, right after this, about Abraham Hicks. And then there's people who will use that same magnetism, that same prowess, that persuasiveness that they are naturally endowed with to convince you of other things that aren't really important or aren't really true or are actually quite harmful. So, isn't that so interesting? So next time you talk to somebody, just ask yourself, like, you're making me feel really good. I like that. So I must like you, because it means you must like me, because you're saying all these nice things. But question it. Like, do I actually even know you? Have we met face to face? I've never watched 90 Day Fiance, but I know my friends have, and they're just like, oh my God, like, everybody who's ever been on that show needs to like really question, needs to question their connections or some such thing, you know? But yeah, it's weird, because in the age of the internet, it's giving us access to each other, but it seems to be quite superficial access. It's not deep. It's not substantial. When I was a teenager, you had to call my house. Whoever answered the phone, you had to go through them to get through me, you know, to ask me on a date, ask me for homework. If you were sick, ask me if I took notes. You know, just like common courtesy, to show up and be brave and ask of somebody something and have some decorum when you do it. Thank them. Say please and thank you, right? And now you can just be like, oh, I left them on red. I was busy. Okay, we're all busy. It's 2022. Do I have chump or dumbass stamped on my forehead? We're all busy, okay? It's like, you have a phone. You have a phone. You can do good or ill with it. It's a high-powered machine. You can run a business from the palm of your hand, and some people are, you know? And they designed it. It sends signals into outer space so that you don't have to go there and do it, you know? So it's like, yeah, we're all busy. That doesn't make you special, okay? And same with charm. Anybody can appear to be anything now because of the internet. So that's another thing. So please, if you're considering dating someone, they give you a really weird feeling, don't do it. And if you're still like online dating, like the person who asked the question, it's a bit old-fashioned, but honestly, I think it works. I don't think I don't believe in inherent compatibility. I think you choose to be compatible, okay? You choose to be compatible with people energetically, emotionally, whatever. But things that you cannot change is chemistry. You either have it or you don't. It's important to you or it isn't. So for that, please tell the person you're talking to. I would feel much better if before our date, you rang me on the phone and we spoke for just 5 minutes. Anybody can spare 5 minutes. If they have 5 minutes to watch this, go on Instagram, whatever, they can call you on the phone. And if you don't have some kind of fizz, if you don't have some kind of sparkle, you just saved yourself a whole evening out. You get to stay home and be comfortable, spend that time with someone else, or your cat or your dog, or trolling the woods like your friend here. So just, you know, use your own discernment and just be aware of that. Just know that sometimes people that make you feel really good make you feel good for themselves, and not in the good, like unconditional love, I want to serve you kind of way, but in a very deceptive manner. So I hope this is helpful to whoever sees it. And until next time, I'm going to go answer another question. Much love to you all. Bye-bye.